In this video, I'm gonna make it rain. I mean, who wears this crap? I mean, admittedly, it would look more impressive if it were $101 bills. That's probably why people do that. Yeah, that's less dramatic, for sure. Now look, I may not have a lot of notes, but I have all the ones that count. Boom! $1. Boom! $5. Boom! $10. 20, 50! And of course, good old Benji boy. Now, believe it or not, I am not whipping these out to flex. As much as you guys know I love to flex. Now, I've actually always wanted to corrupt currency, but it is actually illegal to deface legal currency. But this is US currency, and I'm in Australia. So what are you gonna do about it? And recently in my trip to the US, I was very careful to save one of every kind of note so that I could come back and make this video, even though it's against the law in America. I'm such a bloody rebel. Wait, is that every note? This is a $2 bill! No! That's okay. It's okay because I've got 2 more $1 bills. So let's just pretend that counts as a $2 bill. It doesn't. There's nothing I can do about it now. And I'm making this video, so that's that. So we're gonna start off with the $1 bills. I have a couple of practice ones. So we're gonna be a bit rough and reckless with our first dollar bill, just to essentially swatch on it and see how it reacts to different art materials. Starting off with a Sharpie, it absorbs. Does it go through? That is not bleeding. Wow. I feel like they should make sketchbooks out of this stuff. Let's go a bit juicier. Let's go my brush pen. Really juicify it, lay it down. Nothing. Why has no one made sketchbooks out of this paper? In fact, I want to know what type of paper US currency is made of. It's not paper, it's made of cotton linen material. 75% cotton, 25% linen. Can I get detailed? Let's see, we've got our fine liners here. That's going down fine. Let's go with a sketchy pencil now. We have my Prismacolor Color Erase. That's holding the pencil material pretty well. Now let's move on to some alcohol markers. Now this will be interesting because I would love to add a lot of colors and get really playful. Oh! But will it blend? That's the question, you ready?
Will it blend? That is the question.
Let's try and do a nice blended gradient between pink and green. That's actually blending really nicely. And is it bleeding through? Oh, it is bleeding through a little bit. Okay, good to know. We're learning our materials. I think we need to try a few different whiteouts or white pens to sort of see how we can paint over or modify some of the actual visual assets. Let's start with a paint marker, just drawing over that, see how it goes over the darker areas. We'll probably build up layers and fully cover areas. It looks quite stark white though, I'm sure all of these will. That creates a much thicker overlay and hides everything underneath it, and I'm sure these will do much the same. So that's going to cover broader areas pretty quickly, and so will this, although that's quite thick and streaky. And then last but not least, let's see what some of these colors look like on top of the whiteout, on top of our note. Actually, that looks not too bad. So there it is. That's my finished swatch page. All these materials are going down really uniquely. They do result in something that looks really cool. Speaking of something that results in looking really cool, and Mr. Washington's gonna back me up here, because if you're looking to make a website that looks really cool, you need look no further than Wix, the sponsor of this video. What a bloody transition that was. Wix is the sponsor of this video, but they also are my #1 recommendation for you guys if you're looking to build a website, and the best part is, it doesn't even cost you one of these. They probably wouldn't accept it anyway. It's officially no longer legal tender when you vandalize it, so, you know. Luckily, you don't even have to try. There are so many amazing ways you can build a website. You could start off with one of their many thousands of free templates, or you can start from scratch. You can use Wix's advanced design interface to have one built for you based around exactly what you want your website to look like or serve as. It really is hard for me to fit in the sponsored spot how much I want to advocate for Wix, because I use them myself in a number of different ways. The Wix platform actually saves me money in doing different email marketing, in serving products, in having email contacts and FAQs. The way they handle storage and security and hosting and everything is just so simple. And you can get started today by signing up to Wix and build your dream website and see how much you love the platform. I recommend it, and I know you're going to love it. And I want to thank, of course, Wix for sponsoring this video. Once again, the link to them is in the description. This is a message Mr. Washington approves of. Those little sunglasses. Well, there you have it. We've officially vandalized our 2 spare dollar notes. Now we only have the actual notes that will eventually be our artworks. Now I'm going to work on the character sides of these notes, but what it's time to do now is to jump into creating some artwork based on these beautiful templates. I want to get fancy and schmancy along the way, but we're going to start off nice and simple and work our way up. Starting off with the humble, crumbly $1 bill. Let's let's get started. So we start off with good old George Washington, the ever-loved and ever-used $1 bill. And I thought, you know what, the bill here already has a bit of a theme going on. We've got a little bit of foliage and greenery around, so I thought, why not really green it up here? You know what I'm saying? With marijuana. I know you might think that sounds controversial, but back in the day, marijuana or hemp was used for many different things, like rope and probably smoking as well. Either way, it's known for mainly being smoked on and chilled around with these days, so I thought our good old buddy George could be hitting it up and chilling out a little bit. And I thought I'd keep it pretty simple, nice and green, and I thought that green aesthetic suited well with the money look as well. And I also played around with a little bit of an effect with the white gel pen later on and mixed it on the note while it was wet to create a bit of a smoky effect, which I thought worked really well. Next, we have old Honest Abe Lincoln, and with each note, I tried to walk a balance between working thematically with the character that we had, sort of tying it in with the amount of money of the note if it felt relevant to the theme, and then, I don't know, maybe just making the aesthetic of the note fit with the amount of money as well. So I thought with old Honest Abe, he was quite the hero, and who is more heroic or honest than Captain America himself? And, you know, Abraham Lincoln is kind of a Captain America in his own way, so I thought, why not? Run with it. I don't know, just imagine the Captain America movie as if it was just with Abraham Lincoln instead. Done. Beautiful. Perfect. I also thought thematically the $5 bill felt quite like the honest little note. It's like a humble little go-getter. It's not ostentatious, but it's not the most meager of notes. There's a lot you can do with $5, and there's a lot Captain Abraham America can do for you. Next, Alexander Hamilton, and I would be a fool if I did not make it an ode to Hamilton the musical. A little bit hard to do because it's a mix aesthetically on stage, but there is a style that they go for which is a real nice hip-hop edge, plus of course it's musical theatre, so I thought I'd try and create a note that had a real sort of pizzazz to it for the musical theatre stage aesthetic, but also a little bit of attitude and spark of hip-hop. So I thought a really nice gradient between the blue and pink, trying to mix in a sense of lighting for a stage presence, and after really mixing in those tones and going for something dramatic, I thought I'd finalize it by making the "We the People" a little more street. Now we reach the $20 note, good old Andrew Jackson, and $20 is where we start to get a little bit fancy. So this is where I thought I'd ham up that fanciness a bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, $10 can do a lot, but you can get a lot more with a 20. You can get an item of clothing. In fact, you can get a whole outfit with $20 if you spend it right. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna pimp out our $20 Andrew Jackson with a little bit of attitude. With a leopard print background, a fur coat to surround him, and a really nice modern hairstyle, some big hoop earrings, and of course, chewing and blowing on some bubble gum. Now, of course, we're starting to get a little bit ostentatious, so a big whack of solid gold around the edges, just so you know, we're starting to really mean money. Next, we had Ulysses S Grant on our $50 bill, but you know what? I thought we've been looking at a lot of old white men for too long, and though of course that does entail pretty much all of the founding fathers, I thought, you know what? We need to add a little bit of modernity here and a little bit of a nod as to where else America has gone and who has come along with it, so I've replaced Ulysses S Grant with 50 Cent. Because I thought, you know what, there's a bit of a story of the American dream and pop culture. Of course, we're hitting the $50 bill, so we're meaning some serious pop stardom here. So I figured I'd pick a cool pop star. At least he was a cool pop star back when I was in high school. I don't know if he's doing very much these days, but he had a song called Candy Shop, and that was really popular. I remember that. It was... I'm getting old. Could look better, and it doesn't look entirely like 50 Cent when it's finished, but I think thematically it's perfect, because what is the American dream if it isn't turning cents into dollars? You get it? Because it's 50 Cent, and it's $50. And last but not least, we get to the $100 bill, the Benjamin Franklin himself. Now, I was gonna go even more ostentatious with this, but you know what? I thought the $100 bill has to stand out. It has to be different. And all of the other bills I've done so far have a lot of color, have a lot of style and attitude, but I thought, you know what? The $100 bill represents that none of the other notes really can represent quite as much is business. It's bloody business time with the $100 bill, so I thought I'd really dive into that and get really dark and serious. I had a really deep dark sort of money green to the background and laid in a brick-like texture, which is also, funnily enough, the shape of a dollar note. I thought I'd draw the dollar signs all over that because then it would make it look like it's lots of dollar bills, so that when you're holding the $100 note, it felt like you're holding lots of $1. On top of that, let's face it, if you're dealing with $100 notes, you're dealing with business or businessy people, you're getting serious, you're feeling fancy, and you probably can afford to wear a suit. So can Benjamin, and he looks a little bit like a secret agent, which, let's face it, if you're dealing with hungies, as we call them in Australia, you probably have a Bluetooth headset as well, just like Benjamin Franklin here. So I thought that's what he would be doing. I also thought I had to feel a bit more substantial, so I made the 100 number stand out quite a lot more, because if you're holding a $100 note, you have to feel like it's really substantial. And I don't think it could feel any more substantial than this business note right here. And just like that, in one video, I've turned substantial currency into what essentially looks like and could be valued as monopoly money, because I don't think you could use this as legal tender anymore. But this is real people, a sacrifice, real money to make this art for you. Now, before the final reveal of all our beautiful notes right here, I just want to take a moment to thank once again the sponsor of this video, Wix. Like I said, I have actually saved money on a number of different services that I've cancelled because I get those functions through my Wix website. Wix is the perfect place for you to build everything from the ground up with either as much help as you need along the way or as much control as you could possibly want, even diving into the code itself if you're really into that sort of thing. But it really is flexible, and you can, like I said, work from many of the thousands of templates to build your website on, like you can see here, with a drag and drop interface that makes everything super easy. You can test how it looks on mobile and desktop. They take care of everything for you, from hosting to security to emails. You can have newsletter subscriptions. You can do e-commerce and sell products. You can ticket events. You can have maps. There are loads of different widgets and apps that you can apply to your website. You can keep it simple, go super complex, have databases, everything you can think of that you could possibly need or want for your website. Now, I know a lot of you who watch my videos are very creative people, which means a lot of you were thinking about creating a portfolio or perhaps building freelance clients. There is no better way to do that than with Wix. You can get started for free today. Use their awesome and powerful website building tools and build your audience, get clients, or create something that you can share that shows your portfolio or your work. You don't have to spend a cent and you get really professional results. So go check it out. Once again, the link's in the description, and a huge thank you to Wix for sponsoring this video. And without any further ado, we have the final reveal of each of our notes, starting off with boom, the $1 Washington, boom, the $5 Lincoln, boom, the $10 Hamilton, boom, the $20 Sassy Jackson, boom, the $50, and then last but not least, boom, the $100 Franklin. Now, I personally feel like each of these notes holds its own ground, tells its own story, and has its own feel about it that is true to the note that it is. Especially the $100 note, I feel like it really stands out above the rest, has that really crisp, clean, white edge, a much more serious business look to it compared to all the others. But I don't know, you tell me what you think in the comments down below. Tell me which your favorite is and maybe which could stand to be improved. Maybe I missed a trick, maybe there's a certain approach I should have taken with one or more of the notes. I'd be interested in your thoughts. But either way, what I'm most interested to know is this better than the current American note system? I'm going to put a poll in the card. I want you to go vote. Let me know if I've succeeded in outdoing the original American notes. I feel like I've done a pretty bloody good job, but I'm going to leave that up to you to judge. Anyways, I hope you have enjoyed this video. It's definitely been a fun one and a bit of a different one. If you did enjoy it and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe to Draw Jazz Up for more fun with art and creativity. Hit that like button so other people will see this video, and check out the other videos on this channel for a bit more fun with art and creativity. I want to thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.